So, RDR versus Brendan Allen. Let's get the context out of the way. Reinier de Ridder came to the UFC as a former middleweight and light heavyweight champion. He lost both titles to Anatoly Malikin, then bounced back and got a deal with the UFC. He had a bit of a messy debut in what was somewhat of a mirror match against longtime veteran Gerard Meerschaert. RDR was able to outlast him and get a submission in the third round, but we can't exactly say he looked impressive doing so. He kept winning though, and after quickly submitting Kevin Holland, absolutely derailing the Bo Nickal hype train, and winning a gritty decision against former champion Robert Whittaker, the Ridder has become undeniable, and now finds himself at the top of the division. He was supposed to fight Anthony Hernandez, who I covered in this video, check it out. The American wrestler is on a very impressive 8-fight winning streak, and the bout between the two would not only likely determine the next title challenger, but also serve as a very compelling matchup for the newly crowned champion Khamzat Chimaev. But the injury bug struck again, and Fluffy is out. In his place we have Brendan Allen. Allen just snapped a 2-fight losing streak with a victory over divisional staple Marvin Vettori, but those losses came against the very top of the division in the aforementioned Fluffy Hernandez and the man most likely to fight for the title, Nassourdine Imavov. Even in defeat, Allen showed himself to be a skilled and dangerous fighter. The Ridder comes in with the win streak, is the betting favorite, and is being picked by a staggering 93% of Tapology users. Does Brendan Allen have a chance here? In my opinion, Allen brings a very interesting skill set to the matchup, and we all know styles makes fights. First of all, Brendan Allen is a legit size middleweight. Kevin Holland has always struggled with grapplers at middleweight, including a loss to Allen. The aging Robert Whittaker found himself with a 4-inch height and 4.5-inch reach disadvantage and started his career as a welterweight. Bo Nickal isn't particularly big either and found himself being muscled inside the clinch by the huge Dutchman. Gerard Meerschaert, despite his age and wear, was able to compete with the Ridder in part because of his larger frame. That GM3 part brings me to my second point. Allen is a legit grappler, one with a functional MMA grappling game. He's not only a submission threat, but also dangerous with ground and pound and has solid transitions and scrambles. The owner of an outstanding 18 wins via rear naked choke, Allen was the only guy able to go toe-to-toe with Fluffy Hernandez in the grappling in recent memory and was able to take down and control Imavov in their fight. He also has experience against a variety of grapplers, from reversing top control wrestler Jacob Malkoun, to mauling former light heavyweight guard player Paul Craig, to submitting submission specialist Andre Muniz on the third round. Allen means business on the ground. And that's one area the Ridder always leverages to his advantage, as we saw clearly in the Robert Whittaker fight. You don't want to end up on the bottom against someone so big and skilled. And that brings us to my last point. Allen is the tighter striker of the two, while RDR can be dangerous, especially with his knees, and certainly has that dog in him. He's a bit janky as a striker. Allen is the more polished stand-up fighter when it comes to mechanics and footwork, and most importantly, he has a lot of high-level experience and success against southpaws. After his win over Vettori, Allen stands at 9-2 against UFC-level southpaws. This is tracking the Southpaw Report by my boy Dan Tom, by the way. Go give him a follow on Twitter. His only loss to a lefty in the UFC came at the hands of pocket boxer Chris Curtis, and he went on to avenge that loss in a close fight during their rematch. So not only does Allen have an advantage when it comes to technique on the feet, but he's also very familiar with southpaws, and his grappling chops mean his striking won't be mute like that of a fighter scared to grapple. Does Allen have a shot then? Hey, everyone in MMA has a shot, right? This isn't a prediction piece, but maybe now you can see how this is a more interesting matchup than you initially thought. What do you think? Will Allen's ability to compete everywhere and his experience against high-level opposition give him the edge? Or will RDR once again turn this into an ugly fight where his grittiness shines? Maybe we'll see a quick finish from either one? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel for more analytical content. If you want to support me, you can do so through donations here on YouTube. Head over to Patreon for exclusive content, or grab some merch from the store. Links in the description. Check out some other videos from the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.